What is going on, guys? Welcome back to E8 Football. I'm your boy Ethan, and it's time to talk Champions League. We're back into the Champions League, and we're going to be previewing the match between, not the match, the absolute classic, that is Barcelona against Inter Milan. This match is going to be intense. I will say that for sure. I'm also going to add some, in this video, I'll also add a little bit of preview to Arsenal PSG near the end. But for this match, particularly for Barcelona, this is going to be a tough match. And not only because Inter have one of, if not the best defense in Europe, but because they're very hard to try and score. If you've seen Inter Milan play, you'll know that it's hard to score on them. They don't concede a lot of goals. And Barcelona still are going to have a bunch of injuries in this match, so are Inter, but it's going to be a close match. And when you look at the way these two teams play, Inter play usually with a classic back four, I think it is. Yeah, it is. No, it's back three. They play with a back three. Sometimes they switch to a four depending on whether or not one of the wing backs drops into the four. But they play with three center backs, 5 midfielders, and 2 forwards. That is reminiscent a little bit of a certain team that Barcelona did manage to defeat in the Copa del Rey, with the 3 center backs. It's the same style, but the thing with Inter is that they're more defensively orientated with lots of... They don't give away a lot of space in the back, and that's what's got me trembling here a bit, because Barcelona does have problems breaking low blocks. Inter deploy a hell of a low block, and for Barcelona, it's going to be very hard to try and open it, because I have seen Barcelona try to do it before, and it ended up with 3-3 Inter in the 2020 Champions League. Ended up with a bunch of losses to random La Liga teams like Leganes and Las Palmas, who also play low blocks, and it's going to be hard for Barcelona. Their front three is good enough to break a low block. Still no Lewandowski, but like I said before in the Copa del Rey match, I genuinely think that Ferran Torres is good enough right now to replace him for the time being. Last time we played this team, it ended a 3-3 draw where our defense was cut open like a piece of chocolate cake. It was bad. But we did get chances ourselves, and we ended up scoring as well to make it a 3-3. This match, I feel like, is going to be similar to that. And it all depends on whether or not Flick uses that line and sets up the offside trap correctly, because whenever it's failed, we have conceded trillions of goals if the line fails. It failed against Las Palmas first time. It failed against Leganes. It failed against Dortmund. And I think that's pretty much it. Those 3 are the ones that it failed on. Oh, it also failed against Betis. 4 different teams that it failed on, and all 4 did not end up in wins. So we'll just have to see how it goes for this one. Inter does have a star-studded attack as well. They've got Lautaro. They've got Taremi. They've got Thuram, even though I don't think he'll play, but they're saying he might play, so just have to see how that goes. Their midfield is pretty stacked. They've got Mkhitaryan, DeMarco, who usually is a wing back. a left wing back. Barella, really, really good. Nicolo Barella. He always brings problems to teams. Like, he is a line breaker. He's like Pedri material, but not Pedri. And of course, you've got the main man himself, Hakan Çalhanoğlu, who's probably one of their best players, the Turkish international, and he's fitting into that CDM role very well. Sometimes they put in Fratesi, sometimes they put in Darmian, but we'll just have to see what they go with against us. I know that they're going to be missing Pavard because he's been hurt. Hopefully, well, I'm not saying hopefully. I don't want anybody to get hurt, but we'll just have to see what they go with. It's going to be a battle of titans, this match. In terms for Barcelona, we'll just have to see what happens with this offside trap. Like I said before, it's going to be quite the battle in terms of forward difference and defensive prowess. I don't think both keepers are strong. Szczesny, not as strong. Sommer, this might be an underrated opinion, but I genuinely think Sommer is on the decline as well. So you just got to make sure you shoot and get some good shots. That's why I'm favoring Lamine Yamal to score in this match alongside Ferran Torres. Torres can score a lot of goals in matches like these. And other than that, I don't see any changes to Barcelona's starting 11. I'll go with Szczesny in goal. In the back, I don't like him, but we'll have to start Martinez, Baldes at back. Kubarsi is a must. The kid's incredible. Martinez, Inigo, and Koundé as our defensive four. And the thing about our defensive four is that we'll have to have enough people to take care of Lautaro, Taremi, or Thuram, plus their midfield with a Nicolo Barella that loves to push up and attack alongside the forwards. So we'll have to make sure to watch out for those guys as well. Down the midfield, we've got Pedri and De Jong, obviously. Like, they've been the pivot for Barcelona this season, and honestly the reason I think we're so good going forward. It's going to be a tough match for the midfield. They're going to have to play against the five midfielders of Inter Milan, and we'll just have to see what happens. I do know Inter Milan is an aging squad, so we'll see whether or not it takes effect to their ability to stay fit for 90 minutes. And the fact that we went to extra time against Real Madrid is really not going to help us here, but we're going to see how it goes. Up front, we're going to have Dani Olmo. Although he had a bad game against Real Madrid, I think we start Olmo anyways. Rafinha, Lamine, and Ferran Torres. That'll be my starting 11. We'll just have to see how it goes. Score prediction. Oh, gosh, this is going to be close. This is going to be a close match. I think in my first prediction video, the one that I did when I was outside, I put a 1-0 over both legs. I'm going to change that. I'm going to go 3-2 Barcelona. 3-2 Barca, and it's going to be a hell of a close match. If not, then I think draw and they go to penalties and Inter wins because Szczesny's not a good penalty saver. Sommer's much better. But yeah, that's what I think about Barca. I really hope we can get past his team because I genuinely think this might be one of the hardest ones, if not the hardest team we might face before going to the final. So yeah, let's pray for Barcelona. Hope they do good. Our chance for the quadruple is still alive. So let's move on to Arsenal PSG. This is going to be a fantastic match for neutrals like myself who follow Barcelona and Manchester United. In my predictions video, I actually said Arsenal were going to win this game because Arsenal's defense is miles better than PSG's defense by a full country mile. So much better. But PSG's offense is miles better than Arsenal's. Well, I wouldn't say miles better. I mean, they have Bukayo Saka. They have Mikel Merino's been really good as a makeshift 9 for them. And then their left wing, Martinelli. But PSG has a front line that is much better than Arsenal's front line. I think this entire match, like this entire sequence of 2 legs, depends all on the midfield, whether or not the midfield can dominate. And it's going to be a big battle. Arsenal has a pretty solid midfield. They've got Odegaard, they've got Rice, and they've got Thomas Partey. And they are very, very good. But PSG's midfield is, I think, the best in Europe. They're so good in the midfield. They've got Vitinha, who was linked with Real Madrid recently. They've got João Neves. And they usually sub in Varane Zaire-Emery or Fabian Ruiz, who are just incredible for PSG, and they have been incredible this season. So I genuinely think it depends on that midfield and on that defense, whether or not Arsenal or PSG decide to bunker down. The goalkeeper is also a strong spot for PSG. I think Donnarumma is miles better than David Raya. So I do favor Arsenal winning this one. And you guys are probably going to question me, but I solely base this on the defense. And they have such a good defense, Arsenal. So I'm going to go 3-1 over both legs to Arsenal. I think they get a few goals off of corners, maybe a free kick here or there, and maybe one from open play. So those are my Champions League score predictions and predicted lineup for Barcelona against this really strong Inter defense. We'll just have to see how it plays out in the first leg. I really hope Barca can do this and get the job done so we could go for this quadruple, because it's looking really likely. And I don't want to be confident or anything, but I really hope we get this done. So that'll be it for me today, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.